Can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Darling, I've told you several times before, I have no dream job. I do not dream of labor.
Huh?
Oh my God. Do it. Just do it.
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably.
Do it. Just do it.
You guys don't even understand, bro.
You like that? You like that? Bruh.
All right. How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Jose Unleashed. As you guys already know, this is just a shit show here. We're just gonna go crazy, hog wild, balls to the wall. We cover all kinds of different things on this channel. Usually what I've been doing in recent episodes is that I've been going through story time, aka telling you guys about my life, my past. For some of you guys that know me, have known me for a while, you guys know I have a very historied. I got a long past. I got a lot of things I've done with my life. A lot of things. A lot. And so therefore I have a lot of stories. And that's been kind of like the default as to what I've been doing on the show in past episodes. We're just talking about my life, going down memory lane, doing all that stuff. And but in today's video, in today's live stream, today's show, we're actually going to be talking about switching phones because I had to get a new cell phone. And so as I was kind of getting ready for this week's episode, shows, whatever, and trying to figure out what I was going to talk about on this channel especially, I thought to myself, I was kind of having a, kind of like a situation trying to, getting a new phone here. This is my old phone that died, all right? And therefore, I had to, I was going through all that. And as I was going through all that, I kind of thought to myself, I think this would be a good topic for me to rant about, to talk about, because I feel like, my situation is not unique. And then a lot of people out there probably gone through the same thing, whether, they will, they're scared to, whatever. And so therefore I thought, this would be a great topic to talk about. And I guess let's get into it real quick. So, this phone I've had for years already, and it's already been giving me trouble for a while. And so I was kind of telling myself, all right, at some point I got to upgrade. And I don't want to upgrade, but I have to upgrade. And, let me do it before this thing, dies, completely. And, basically I like to drive things into the ground. And, that's what I ended up doing with this phone. And so when I got to the point where it was basically this weekend, it just died on me basically. And oh my God, you can already know. I mean, you can already figure out how difficult that kind of situation is to deal with, because everyone these days has a cell phone. Everyone these days deals with the whole situation of having your life on the cell phone. This being an extension of yourself. A lot of people wondering, when we're going to be integrated with technology. Listen, we're already integrated with technology. We're cyborgs, okay? We are. Like it or not, we're cyborgs already, all right? And what does that mean? Well, it means that we got some sort of electronic thing that's attached to us. So this is us, okay? We're like, stage 1 of RoboCop, okay? So, RoboCop was half human, half RoboCop. So, we're half humans, half Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, okay? So we're also cyborgs, all right? One shape, form, or another. And so when we lose this thing, God forbid, again, knock on wood, nothing happens, right? But, when we lose it, when it breaks, when it's not working properly, when it's not functioning, whatever, a lot of us, go through like little mini panic attacks as to, oh my God, all my data, all my information. which, by the way, we willingly give away for free. We basically let all these corporate overlords have all of our data and know everything about us for free. But yet, the minute that we don't have access to our own data, that's kind of like when we, go crazy. Now, the phone wasn't bad enough where it just died, but it kept turning on and turning off, and it was just, going haywire. And basically, like when you have an old TV or regular TV and you don't have the channels, and it's just, you get like that, black and white, like shh. Okay, so the phone was doing that. It was basically dying, all right? It was on his deathbed. And so, this happened over the weekend, and I definitely wasn't going to go phone shopping on a Sunday, all right? I live in Mexico, okay? Sundays is to rest and do nothing and work. I got other things I got to do, and the last thing I wanted to do was go shopping for a phone. And so that's why I was thinking about, hey, you know what? I think this would be a great topic to talk about, because the thing is that I remember back in the day, when we used to shop for phones, when we were going to upgrade, a lot of us were always looking forward to it. Basically, I can't wait to get rid of this phone. I can't wait to get a new phone, to upgrade, to try something new, get the new technology, the new this, the new that, the new whatever. But in recent years, most people, it's already to the point where most phones are basically the same. And when you're upgrading to a new phone, what are you getting? A little bit of a better camera, a little faster phone. I mean, it's not much. It's not much of a big difference. In fact, what it really is a big inconvenience. All right. And that's really what I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I'm going to get a better phone, a faster phone, a more capable phone. Because again, as I was saying earlier, as we all know, these things are an extension of us these days. And, it's a mini computer, and for many of us, we use it for work. We use it for our daily, work thing, okay? Whatever it is, unless you're working at McDonald's, obviously you're not using it for work there. You're using it at work. That's a different story. But for like someone like me, that makes YouTube videos, I'm on the internet. It's part of my life. For a lot of people out there, it's part of their life. Christian is an artist. She needs to be on there, and for a lot of people, again, let's just say that you work in a corporate environment or world, and you got to be taking emails or answering emails or questions or this or that, or talking to your boss or whatever it is. We all need our phone. So these days, again, these things are an extension of our lives, right? And so, but so the whole idea was, now all of a sudden now, not only is this thing dead, okay, but now I have to figure out a way to keep it alive enough. So I had to keep this thing in the freezer. Okay, I had to put this thing in the freaking freezer in order for me to, for it to function. So remember, it's like 102 degrees outside. So this thing was overheating. It was having some technical issues with the battery. That's another thing I'll talk about in a second. But anyways, I was having technical issues with the battery. And so the only way for me to use it is that I had to put it in the freezer for like around 15, 20 minutes. I had to time it because I couldn't put it too long or too little. Anyways, I had to keep it in the freezer, take it out of the freezer, and then as it was frozen and defrosting, that's when I was able to use it for a short amount of time before it started burning out again. And in that short amount of time, that's where I was able to start getting information out of my phone so that I can put it on my new phone. And so that's what the problem was, really, more than anything else. When I realized, I was dreading the moment that I had to get a new phone. That's why I was putting it off over, for months and months on upgrading and getting a new phone, even though I knew this one, was having trouble already. It was basically because, I didn't want to move. Just like anyone out there that you're moving from a house to another house or getting a new job or whatever, most of the time, you just don't want to go through all of that. And so now in today's world, when we're getting a new phone, that's the most difficult aspect to it, is the fact that you got to move everything from one phone to another. And that is such a pain in the ass, all right? It's the worst. And so, the reality is that Christian's phone, her phone was even worse shape than mine. So it was kind of funny. Well, not so funny for me, but funny and hilarious that my phone died faster than hers. So obviously, I couldn't wait. I needed my phone, for many reasons. We all need a phone these days. And so I had no choice. But again, Monday, we went to go buy a new phone. But I said, since I'm already buying my phone, might as well buy Christian's phone here too, so that she can avoid, dealing with this at the worst possible time, like me. Again, my phone's dying, and I need to get the info, my data from the phone, and access it in order to put it on the new phone. But anyways, and so I was like, all right, let me at least get her phone as well, so that way I can already just, get this, monkey off my back, because it was going to be something that, I was going to have to deal with it at some point or another. So I got both phones, but look at, again, just back to what I was saying about, the difficulty or the pain in the ass it is moving everything from one phone to the other. So we've got our new phones on Monday, and that Monday, again, by the way, I'm behind on my daily work schedule here, or my weekly work schedule, because I had to dedicate Monday and Tuesday in order to transfer everything to my new phone. And I still haven't transferred everything to my new phone, okay? Basically, I'm missing all my phone numbers I had to transfer over there now. And so, therefore, I'm still dealing with that. And so that was, again, the thing I was trying to avoid, I was procrastinating on, was having to deal with that. Having to deal with the fact that, when I get a new phone, sure, I got a brand new, shiny piece of technology. It's awesome. By the way, as I've been using it and getting, starting to work, play with it or whatever, I realized, oh wow, this is awesome. I'm glad that I upgraded. I can't believe it took me this long to upgrade, but whatever. The newer phones here, they have a lot of technology, a lot of really cool technology, and so I was like, all right, cool, this is awesome, so happy. But again, I'm still kind of cringing at the fact that I have to get used to a new system, even though it's the same Android system. Well, it's changed a bit, so I got to get used to that. I got a Chinese phone for the first time ever, because I've always gotten, a Motorola or a Samsung or some other, company that most of us are used to. But I was already sick and tired of dealing with these phones that are not what they used to be. I'm old enough to remember the old brick phones, the old brick Motorola's that you can... Again, they're stronger than an actual brick, all right? That's what they called them that. So I was used to that. I had a Razr. I think that was also Motorola, right? You remember those Razr flip phones? They were freaking amazing. And so, I came from an era where cell phones were really good. And as the years have gone on, well, Motorola isn't what it used to be. Samsung isn't what it used to be, and so on and so forth. But out here in Mexico, there's a lot of Chinese phones, and a lot of people have these Chinese phones, and they're freaking awesome. So as I was phone shopping at the store, and I got to see, what they had available, I noticed that for the same price, actually for cheaper, okay, a lot cheaper, I was able to get a Chinese phone that was double the speed, had double the RAM, had an amazing camera, had everything. So many things that, like I said, I'm discovering all kinds of new things on there. I was like, oh wow, this is in a phone? This is amazing. So basically, I said, you know what? Whatever. Let's go with the Chinese phone. Let's try it out. And so I went with a Chinese phone. But, the reality is that, like I said, it was the whole idea of having to move everything from one phone to the other that got... was giving me anxiety. That's what I really didn't want to deal with. A lot of it had to do with apps and all this other stuff. But, I realized as I was setting up the new phone, moving the apps and the information from the apps was actually a lot easier, these days than it was before. What was the most difficult thing is that for whatever reason, none of my cell phone numbers, were saved to anything. So I had to like literally manually, write down all of the numbers, and start, kind of cleaning out my phone. The numbers I wanted to keep and the ones I didn't want to keep, and who is this person, who isn't that person, whatever. So anyways, and I had to just go through my phone and write down all the numbers. But now I got a hard, on paper, okay? And I got a hard physical documentation of all the numbers, just like a boomer, all right? We had the Rolodex, remember those? But anyways, now I got, all the important numbers that I need to have on paper, so I don't got to worry about anything. But the point is that, now I got to transfer them from that paper to my actual phone. And now I'm just procrastinating on that because it's like, whatever, I'll get to it when I get to it. And I got to get to it at some point, but, whatever. Anyways, But I was able to transfer everything. It was actually a lot easier than I thought, but it was time consuming, all right? And it was a pain in the butt. And it's something I didn't want to deal with, all right? And I was procrastinating on as long as I could, but you already know, eventually you got to deal with it, and I did, and I had to, and it came at the worst time because, like I said, my phone died on a weekend. I really couldn't do anything about it. I had to wait till Monday, basically because of my lazy ass. I didn't want to go to the store on Sunday and deal with the crowds. I was like, all right, I'll go Monday, early afternoon before there's anybody at the store, and I'll go and deal with it then. And that's it. So I had to wait a few days. Basically, I couldn't use my phone. I couldn't do anything because if I just sneezed on it and it would, blow up and die. And so, one of the main issues one of the main problems that I was having, the main problem I was having with this phone was a battery issue. And what pissed me off, that's what I meant to say. What really pissed me off more than anything else was the fact that, first of all, when I bought this phone, they were already making phones. Well, look, if you notice, there's no way to open it. So there's no way to get the battery out. Therefore, once the battery dies, the phone dies. And that's what happened with this phone. Basically, that's what the problem was. It was the battery that died. And so since the battery died, it fried the phone. And therefore, I couldn't do anything about it. Because back in the day, I remember you used to be able to open up the phone, take out the battery, throw it in the trash, put in a new battery, and boom, you got a new phone. Or at least, you extended the life of that phone. But in today's world, even if I were to open this, I can't take out the battery. The batteries are fused to the actual motherboard and the system itself, therefore, making it even more difficult to change. And so, again, even if I were to go and try to get a new battery for this and try to change it out and all this other stuff, hire somebody to do it, that's going to cost me money. And in fact, close to the same cost that it would cost me to just get a new phone to begin with, which is what I ended up doing. And so, I saw somebody in the chat there saying, oh, the phones are too expensive these days. Well, again, not really, not so much in Mexico. So I got a brand new phone for $236 US. And this phone's amazing. A lot of technology, super fast, super amazing, everything. And it was $236. Now, in the USA, phones are like $1,000, Now, I know they got phones of all prices, in all kind of situations. But, the thing is, in Mexico, most people do not have a contract with like T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon. And therefore, through that contract that they got to pay like a lot of money for, they also get a phone. Or they can purchase a phone or get a phone where it's for free, but it's not for free because you're really paying for that phone. And so a lot of people in the USA, they got really expensive phones, and it's because they're paying through their monthly payment to their phone bill. And so they got that in Mexico if that's what you want. If I wanted to get a new iPhone 38, yeah, I could have done that. If I wanted to get the new Samsung whatever tablet, whatever thing, sure, I could have gotten that, and it would have cost me a lot of money. And I would have been able to pay it off every month. But it's like, why do that? I don't need a super crazy expensive phone. I don't need an extra expense. I don't need any of that. So what a lot of Mexicans do is that, we just go to the store and we just buy whatever phone we can afford. And so 4,000 pesos was the price of this phone. So 4,000 times 2. Yeah, I know. I put a dent, all right, in my wallet. Not something I was looking forward to, but whatever. Anyway, so I got two phones, so each phone was $236. So basically, I was able to get two phones for around $260, $270, something like that. So sorry, $475. So under $500. Okay, so for under $500, I was able to get two brand new phones. But basically $236 for a new phone. And so anyways, you get the phone here and you just put in your SIM card in the phone and you're good to go. The end. That's it. How my phone service works is that it is a, it's every single month I pay 200 pesos. Okay, 200 pesos is like $12 right now. Let me see, hold on. I'll tell you the exact amount of what 200 pesos is. So it's, $12, okay? So for $12 a month, I basically get unlimited everything, unlimited phone calls, unlimited data, unlimited everything. Now, it's not unlimited. There is a limit. There's a certain amount of data that I actually get with the phone, but very rarely do I go over the data that I get for my 200 pesos, for my $12 a month. So again, with a one-time payment, okay, of $236, I get a phone that's going to last me for years and years and years. And then my cell phone plan, my service, is only $12 a month. You can't beat that. And by the way, you can even get a $6 plan a month, or even less, or more. I choose the $12 plan a month, which is 200 pesos a month, because, well, I use a little bit more data. I got my Spotify. I might be driving around and I need my Google Maps, whatever. Okay, but it's relatively cheap. But if I were to go to, Telcel, aka, like the Mexican version of Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, if I go to the actual phone company here, and I were to get a new iPhone, whatever, and I sign up with them, and I do the contract, and I do the whatever, I'm going to be paying the same thing, or close to the same thing that you're paying in the USA. All right. So I was like, I don't need that. Why do I need like an $80 phone bill a month? That's nuts. That's insane. So to me, it's like $12 is plenty. All right. That's enough. So I pay $12 a month. And that's basically, enough for me to, use all the services. Now, what do most people do? Think about it. Most people, what you guys do is that you use your Wi-Fi. So if you're at home, you're at work, you're at wherever you're at, for the most part, there's Wi-Fi. And that's where I hook up my phone. So when I'm at home, I'm on my home Wi-Fi. All right. If I'm at somebody else's home, I'm already connected to their Wi-Fi. There are also free Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the city and other areas. But yeah, long story short, most people use their Wi-Fi. Sometimes Christian goes weeks without paying her phone bill. All right. Without paying for her data. And she just goes from Wi-Fi spot to hotspot and uses it like that. And that's it. So again, out here things are different. Priorities are a little different. You don't need to be connected 24 hours a day. All right, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But again, that's a benefit of having a phone out here and buying a phone out here. And then on top of that, to me, I feel like it's cheaper. Because again, like the phones out here, even for that $236 price range, it's an amazing phone. I don't know what phones go for in the US these days and what kind of technology they have for that price range, but I'm thoroughly impressed by what I can get in Mexico, whether it was this phone that I bought or this other phone that I bought years ago that just died on me now. I was thoroughly impressed for, I got what I paid for. I got more than what I paid for, in my opinion. But again, this new phone has the same exact kind of situation as the old phone, which is that you cannot take out the battery. And that is my main complaint about new phones these days, is the fact that they don't allow you to, again, swap out the battery, take out the battery, put in a new battery, none of that, which you used to do with the older phones all the time. So that's something that I kind of don't like about the new technology, and I know why they do that, so that you can buy a new phone. Because again, ideally, in the past, I probably would have just gotten a battery for this phone and just extended it a bit longer, just because, well, I did not want to migrate over to a new phone. But since I didn't have a choice and I could not buy a new battery for it, and this thing was already dead, and I had to get my all my information onto a new phone as soon as possible, it forced me to buy a new phone. All right, so it is what it is. It's not a big deal. I'm very happy with it. But yeah, to me, that's like the big, that was like my big main concern, in having to move to a new phone. Because I remember, because back in the day when we used to get a new phone, I remember back in the day when you used to get a new phone, well, we didn't have that much data or that much tied to, the old phone. So the move, right? The transition from old phone to new phone was a lot smoother. In fact, the most difficult thing that you had to deal with was transferring the phone numbers. But everything else, I mean, you're basically setting up a new account or just signing in or whatever. But it wasn't that difficult because we weren't, we didn't have all these apps and all this information and all this stuff that we had to transfer over to the new phone. But nowadays, it's a pain in the ass because you have so much information that you got to transfer over to the new phone, which again makes it a pain in the butt. So, all right, let me read a few comments here. Opie says he's waiting for his Neuralink to be implanted in his ass. I mean, I guess. No, sorry, bro. I'm just busting your balls. He didn't specify where he was gonna install the Neuralink.
Bruh.
I'm just guessing his ass, because that's where I would install my Neuralink, in my ass. Adrian says, I agree. I have both Android and iOS, and they're almost identical. Yeah. So I mean, to me, I don't know. I never used an iPhone before, so I don't find them that attractive or that, And I like Android because I'm an old nerd. I'm an old Windows geek nerd, whatever. So I love the fact that, you can get into the nuts and bolts. Like in an Android, you can get into the nuts and bolts, and, play around with it, fix things, whatever. You can do things, a lot of things on your own. Which, by the way, the system I'm using now on my desktop computer, the computer I'm using to record this stream, to go live, is an Apple. I bought an M1 when they came out, an Apple M1 with that new technology. And the reason that really pushed me to buy that new computer and new technology was simply because, I got a taste of Windows 11 when it came out, and it was the worst. Okay, it magically installed itself on Christian's new laptop, and it destroyed her laptop. We got to do it again, but long story short, basically in order for Christian's laptop to be usable, we had to get rid of Windows 11 and put in Windows 10. I was already on my last leg, or my last straw, or my last patience, whatever, with Windows. And then when Windows 11 came out, that shit was such a horrendous thing that I didn't want to deal with that anymore. And I had used Mac before in the past, years ago. So I thought to myself, you know what? Why not try one of these new M1 Macs? And my friends, were raving about it. So I bought a new M1, and I've been using the Mac OS, Mac operating system, and it's fucking great. It's compared to Windows 11. Oh, Jesus, man. Windows 11 is just trash. But, the reason I never plan on getting an iPhone, or probably don't want to, first of all, don't want to get an iPhone, but the reason I don't plan on getting an iPhone is simply because I love Android. I love the Android operating system, and I love how that works. All right. And it's just, what Windows should be these days. And so therefore that's, why I prefer, but just buying any phone. And so when you go with the Android operating system, it gives you a lot more freedom. Again, you guys know how I love my freedom. It gives you a lot more freedom to, again, I just got a freaking Chinese phone. All right. And it was working with Android operating system. And all I had to do was pop in my SIM card. And that's it. I was connected, good to go, using my phone within seconds. Okay. And then it was easy. And it was basically because of the operating system, which, again, if it was an iPhone with that operating system, you already know, it gets very complicated very quickly for no reason at all. Not a fan. So, whatever. I prefer Android, and I prefer to have more freedom. So, Henry says, how common are iPhones in Merida? That a cost of a new phone? You mean how common are they in Mexico? But anyways, long story short, there's a lot of people that have iPhones, Now, I think most people have Androids. Even in the USA, most people have Androids. They're just a lot easier to use and a lot more cost effective and a lot, they're more user friendly when it comes to integrating with all kinds of systems and apps and everything. But yeah, there's a lot more iPhones than you would think, okay? A lot of people have iPhones. Now, not everybody has a brand new iPhone. They might have older iPhones, but, there's a lot of iPhones out there, trust me. In fact, there's a running joke that says, you're not gay unless you have an iPhone, okay? If you're gay and you have an Android, you're not really gay. Now, again, I'm not saying that if you have an iPhone, you're gay. Again, not that it matters whether you're gay or not. It's a joke. It's a joke. Okay? All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get the drums. Okay. Let me see. Let me read a few comments here real quick. Alex says you can get 3 mid-range phones for the price of a high-end phone. Yeah. So, and by the way, like I know enough about technology that the reason that the new iPhone or the new Samsung, whatever, cost over $1,000 is because a lot of it has to do with the camera. Again, as someone that, has cameras, and, I got all kinds of cameras, this camera, the big camera, Christian was using whatever. And I know about that technology. That's what you're paying for. You're really paying for that. And you know this because, when the main selling point of new phones these days is the camera. And that's because, they use a chip that, again, this camera right here is like $500 or $400. Okay. So, I mean, think about the chip that it has in there. And obviously, this is better than an iPhone. Well, sometimes. Sometimes the iPhone is better. But think about it. If that iPhone is going to be better than a GoPro, well, obviously, it's going to be more expensive. And it's the camera chip more than anything else. Because, again, there's very little difference, between the newer phones these days. They got to come out with new gimmicks, like the folding phone or some new technology with the camera or just way better camera, better than an actual camera in some cases. You've seen people that film movies and do all kinds of professional work with an iPhone, with a brand new iPhone or a brand new Android, whatever, So a lot of what you're paying for is the camera, believe it or not. So when I was looking at this particular phone that I bought, okay, and I was looking at how amazing the camera was compared to, by the way, so this other phone that I had, the camera was trash, fucking pure trash. But when I saw what the new camera had, I was like, forget about it. You know what I mean? I bought it. Because when I was comparing it to the other, phones, when I was comparing the Chinese phone to the Motorola, the other Samsung, and the other phones they had for sale, basically they were more expensive and they had a shittier camera, a shittier processor, just shittier all around. And I was like, all right, you know what? Let me just go with the Chinese. I know Chinese, they get a bad rap for a lot of things. And trust me, I order parts for the car from time to time. And sometimes they come from China and they're trash. I got to replace it as soon as I get them. So trust me, I know that China makes a lot of crap. But they do make a lot of really good stuff too. And cell phones is one of them. Drones is another. Okay, some of the best drones still come from China. So, they got really good technology over there still. So, when it comes to phones, and I see a lot of Mexicans have Chinese phones, I was like, all right, why not? Let's see, let's give it a shot. So far, so good. So far, I've been thoroughly impressed and very happy with this phone that I have. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so trust me, I will let you know immediately. If I'm not happy with it. All right, so I'm actually pretty happy with the Chinese phone so far. Adrian says the issue with the Chinese phone is that they work great until they don't. They just die. Well, I mean, again, that's what happened to my Motorola, So, and that's a U.S. company, right? I know that Motorola, most of it is outsourced and made in China or wherever. But same thing. This thing just died, So it's not giving me any faith. But I think a lot of it, again, most of it has to do with the battery situation. Really, I'm telling you, man, it has to do with the battery. So, it's not necessarily the tech per se. I think it's just the fact that they integrate the battery into the phone these days and they don't allow you to take the battery out and replace it. That's what's really just killing the phones overnight. So it's a Dark Wolf says, I agree. I refuse to make payments on the phone. I pay for it in full, and that was my phone, and that's why my phone bill is not so high. I tend to go mid-range price, not too low, not too high. Look, I mean, even when I was in Seattle and I could afford it, that's what I did too. You know what I mean? I would, it hurt to spend $1,000 on a phone, but obviously I didn't have to pay that every month, and it was my phone. That's another thing too. Because sometimes some of these companies, if you're paying for that phone and you're not paying, and then all of a sudden you stop paying for it, they'll lock you out of that phone, and that phone's it's just useless, in some cases, right? So the fact that, you're able to, if it's your phone, it's your phone and it's unlocked, so that's another thing too I liked about this Chinese phone. It was unlocked, so it's from factory. So basically, like I said, I just put my SIM card in there and that's good to go. So, so let me see. Yeah, so to me, I hope that I think that they're going back. I think the EU is the first one to start forcing manufacturers for you to be able to take the battery out and replace it. Because by the way, this is a fire hazard too. This is a hazard that now it has a battery that I cannot take out of and is making a contact. So this is no bueno either. This is not safe. So, to me, I feel like we should be able to replace our batteries, and I don't like the fact that you can't replace batteries. But in the EU, they went back. I think they passed a law that it forces manufacturers to make phones, where you can take the battery out. So hopefully, that'll change the game all around again to force, manufacturers to make phones that way again, so that way you can replace the battery. So. I think Apple Mac OS is not too different than the mobile iOS. Oh, awesome. Okay, good to know. Yeah, but the thing I don't like about Apple is that they have been caught with the phones, slowing down their phones, not upgrading their older phones and all this other stuff to force you to always have the brand new iPhone. So that's why I'd rather just have Android, But when it comes to the desktop, I used to have an iMac back in the day, iMac or with the laptop, whatever. Anyways, I never really had complaints about Mac desktops for the most part. Especially not now with the new M1 technology, which is basically the cell phone technology. It's phenomenal. And I got the M1, and it does amazing. If I could afford it, I just can't. But if I could afford it, I would definitely upgrade to one of the new M2, 3, 4s, whatever it is. Man, this is amazing enough. I can't imagine like a newer M1, M2, whatever it is, But yeah, they're way better. And so for me, what I do with the editing, the live streaming, a lot of the things that I do, it's above and beyond better than working with whatchamacallit? Working with Windows. Are you kidding me? And on top of that, the Apple is good for security. So since not many people have Apple compared, or Mac compared to Windows or Windows operating system out there, most systems, like 80% of all the systems out there are Windows or Linux, but mostly Windows. Hackers and people that make viruses and people that do all kinds of things like that, they go after and they make their tools and their technology to, again, to be able to hack into those machines. So if you have an Apple, or a Mac OS, it's less hackable. It's less likely that you'll have any kind of security or privacy issues simply because, the hackers themselves, it's too much trouble for them to, break into or get into for, so little reward. Because again, if they can master how to go after Windows or Android, think about it. Most people have that. So they have more bang for their buck. But as opposed to, Apple and, the Mac operating system, just because not as many people use these things, it's not, it's not the hackers out there or the people out there doing the bad things, they're not as incentivized to really learn a whole new thing, just to be able to hack into a small group of computers or systems out there. So that's how their privacy is better. That's how Mac OS has a better privacy. It's not because they have a more robust security system. It's not that at all. It's just the fact that hackers are less likely to hack into it because it's more trouble than they're worth. All right, so that's really the reality of it. And most systems out there, if they're going to be hacking into a big major system with a lot of information on it, most likely it's either running on Windows or running on Linux. So why not learn that instead? Because there's no big, corporation out there, running their whole system on Mac OS. It's just very rare, It's not going to happen. So that's that's another positive. Wahoo says, I have had good performance with Android, Samsung. Any suggestions? Yeah, so same here. Again, that's what I got. I got it's a Chinese phone. It's a Redmi. Let's see, you can see it. The Redmi. Can you guys see it? I think so, right? Maybe. I think it showed up for a minute. But anyway, Redmi is a Xiaomi or whatever it's called. But it's all runs on Android and Google. So the one thing about the Chinese phone, which I thought was interesting, is that since it's a Chinese phone coming from China, and I'm out here in a foreign country, I'm in Mexico, then China also adds its own bloatware. So like when you buy a phone in the USA, you get all the Google stuff, all the Microsoft stuff, all the US stuff on the phone already. You got to delete a lot of it or disable it, whatever. So with the phone from China, I got all the American stuff, because everybody uses Google no matter what part of the world you're in. So you got all the Google things, all the Android things, but then you got China's version of that. So China's version of the Google Play Store, China's version of Google whatever, email, Gmail, China Mail, whatever, man. So it was pretty cool to see, all the Chinese apps and the Chinese, kind of system also integrated into the phone. But what I ended up doing is I just disabled all the Chinese stuff, and I disabled a lot of the other stuff that I don't use, all the other Google stuff that I don't use, or all the other, apps or things I either disabled or uninstalled. And that's it, just make sure I have the best experience possible. But it was just interesting to see, there are a few Chinese things that I had to keep on the phone because, it's a Chinese phone, but it's just really cool and interesting to see, China's version of Google. And China's version of some of these apps or some of this technology, and how exactly the same it is, or very similar, very close to the Google. But at the end of the day, I use Google. Again, I'm on YouTube right now. That's a Google company, right? So Adrian says, I would say that if you're someone that is not tech savvy, iOS is much easier to use than Android. Yes, I 100%. Android has more ability to be personalized, and you have to know how to do it. Yes. So that's why I love Android, as I was just saying right now. As soon as I got the phone, that's why it's taken me so long, to get it running, is because I'm constantly personalizing it until I get the tool that I want. Kind of like shaping the tool to work in my favor, where you can't really do that with a Mac operating system. You can't do that with Apple. It's harder to do, if at all. But one thing I'm going to tell you right now, at least with the computers, Mac OS, Mac computers, whatever, it's so much more intuitive, so much easier. Even someone that's a Windows geek, I like computers. I'm into all that. I customize the F out of that as well. Always go deep into the nuts and bolts. Again, with enough digging, you can do the same thing with Mac OS. But if you choose not to do any of that, my God, it's just so much easier to use, and it's just more intuitive, and it's just so much better. I don't know. I like Mac OS. And look, I'm not going to lie. The people that told me about this were friends of mine that are coders or hackers or whatever it is, right? And they themselves say that even though, they know what they use, Windows and Linux, for a lot of things, personally at home or personally on their computer, they run Mac OS. The Mac operating system. It's just so much better. So a lot of people, what they'll do, people that are really tech savvy, is that they'll have a computer that they built themselves that runs on DOS, Windows, Linux, whatever. But then on top of that, they run Mac OS. That's really the ultimate, you know what I mean? And I forgot what there's a name for it, but anyways, long story, Hackintosh. I think they call it a Hackintosh or something like that. But basically, that's what it is. It's like, basically it's a computer that they built themselves. Just everything is exactly the same except instead of using Windows, they use Mac operating system. Windows is on the base program. The base system. The foundation. But on top of that, they put the Mac operating system, and that's what they really use. And so that's why before I got my M1 and I was talking to my friends, they were like, yeah, bro, just get the M1. Just get the Mac, whatever. You're going to be happy. You're going to love it. You're going to this. And they explained all that to me, how they themselves use it. And I was like, all right, okay, I guess. I really, really hated Windows 11. So I was like, all right, forget it. I'm not going to be hating my life every day with this Windows 11. So that's when I switched over. And man, like it's night and day. In fact, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to Windows unless they fix Windows 11, which a lot of times they do. You already know how the whole Windows thing is, where they'll have a really, really good Windows, and then they'll have a couple crappy Windows, and then they'll have another really good Windows. So I think Windows 11 is just in that line of crappy operating systems. And then once they come out with maybe Windows 12 or 13, and which is going to be awesome again, then I'll go back to Windows. But like I said, even the Windows 10 compared to this, this is way better. Mac, was way better. So, but when it comes to like a phone, I love Android so much, and Android is nothing like Windows. When it comes to phones, I just 1000% prefer to have an Android system. Android operating system is for me far superior than the iPhone, because a few times I've had to use iPhones and I hate it. Not as intuitive or as easy to use, in my personal opinion. So, let me see. I was reading the comments, but yeah, at the end of the day, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was dreading the day in which I had to switch phones, and only because, again, I remember back when we were younger, whenever we would switch phones, I know it was a pain in the butt, but a lot of times you were really, really looking forward to the new phone for all the reasons. Basically, when back in the day when you used to get a new phone, the change in technology was very wide. It was very great. It was huge. So a lot of times, sorry, I thought I was hearing something. I gotta, keep an ear out for the garbage man. I forgot I gotta take out the garbage before they show up. But anyways, what I'm saying is that, back in the day when you were switching from one phone to the next, a lot of times it was worth it. You would put up with, the whatchamacallit, the what's the word I'm looking for? The inconvenience of switching from one phone to the other, because the benefits you were getting from the brand new phone were so great that, well, you were looking forward to the new phone. But nowadays, since most phones are basically the same, they're just a tiny bit better than what they used to be. Oh geez, it is such a pain in the ass. It's like I said, it's such a pain in the ass, to move from one phone to the other. Again, if I could have just switched out the battery on this thing, I would have. I'm not going to lie. And I would just kept on chugging along with this phone. Again, now that I have a new phone, I really get to see, oh, wow, okay, they have made, better, a lot of changes in the last 4 years or 5 years, and this phone is great. And again, switching from Motorola, Samsung, whatever, to a Chinese phone, wow, it's even more. It has even more technology, and it's just even faster and better and all this other stuff, because I was already having problems with this phone where certain apps weren't working good, certain things weren't working as great, and now on my new phone, amazing so far. No complaints. Oh, Adrian says Microsoft Edge is Android based now. Okay. That's interesting. Makes sense. Microsoft sucks, man. Microsoft these days is just fucking caca. Terrible. In fact, it's gotten so bad that, most systems out there, most professional systems and things like that, they're straight up switching to whatchamacallit, to Linux. So, Linux and Apple have a pretty good share of the market these days as opposed to what it used to be. And it's only because Microsoft has just fallen off so much Maybe Bill Gates, would concentrate more on, Microsoft operating system instead of fucking trying to vaccinate people and buy, fucking farmland and all that bullshit. Maybe Windows wouldn't be so bad. So, but, whatever. It is what it is. All right, let's, hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day out there, enjoying the show today. Because again, I know I've been doing story time on the channel, but I decided to do something a little different today, and hope you guys are enjoying it. Just talking about phones. Let me know, by the way, let me know in the chat. Did you guys enjoy today's chat today? Did you guys enjoy today's conversation, talking about phones? Or talking about subjects like this, just kind of like random subjects instead of story time. I know you guys like story time, and I'm going to be doing more story time, but what do you guys think about this? I'd like to hear your feedback so that I know what to do going forward. At the end of the day, we're trying to do some entertainment here, right? And hopefully I'm entertaining you guys. So, oh man, but anyways. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to kind of cover here. We're trying to just fill in a few more minutes here, so. But, I mean, so yeah, this new phone, man, is pretty great. Not gonna lie. I'm trying to see if oh yeah, okay. So I'll tell you another thing. I'll speak correctly, Jose. Okay. So another thing, I realized, okay. So I've been okay. So when I first moved to Mexico 6 years ago, I was off of Facebook. I got off of Facebook. I got rid of Facebook. Enough. I didn't need Facebook. Okay. Boomer book is what I called it. All right. But I got off of Facebook. But when I moved to Mexico, I realized why Facebook is such a powerful company. Because even though in the USA, most people don't use Facebook as much as they used to, or they don't use it they don't use it like how we used to use it. And most people hate Facebook in the USA these days. And most people on Facebook in the US these days are boomers, older people. That's not how it is in the rest of the world. In the rest of the world, a lot of people use Facebook for just about everything. So when I moved to Mexico, I quickly realized, oh, wait a minute. In order for me to really, know what's going on locally in the news, I needed to be on Facebook. In order for me to get, the right, a cheap rental, Facebook. If I needed, to find, if I need to sell something, there was no Craigslist or anything like that. I needed to use Facebook. So basically, Facebook is the one all and be all application for everything out here in this country. It's not just here. Many countries use Facebook the same way, and in Asia they use like WeChat and other things. But look, the point is that Facebook was something that I had to get back on. But then as I was doing the channel was growing and all this other stuff. I was like, all right, well, I gotta but I gotta publish my videos on on Facebook as well. So basically, that's I had to get back on Facebook. And, at first I was only on Facebook on my desktop. And so I would just get on there when I needed to and stuff like that. But eventually I put it on my phone. Oh my God. And like I said, it already got to the point where I was already like, I hated Facebook. Okay. I really, really hated it because of all the toxicity and just the fucking putridness that is Facebook. Okay. So when I just got this brand new phone and I'm installing everything again, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to install everything but Facebook. And I'm just going to use Facebook on the desktop when needed. And that's it. But I'm not going to use Facebook on my phone anymore. I'm going to take that and keep it as far away from my phone as humanly possible. I don't need it at all. All right. And by the way, I feel like this week has been so much better because I haven't really used Facebook all week. Again, I'll just check on it on my desktop. That's it. But I don't have it on my phone. And then on top of that, the fact that I don't have that negative toxicity, constantly there on my phone, I think it's going to help the phone run better because, again, Facebook just does horrors for your phone. Okay, your memory, your your storage, or this, or that, whatever. It's, doing things behind the scenes that you don't even want to know. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep Facebook off of my phone and go from there. And so far, so good. So, that's another positive thing of getting a new phone. So when you get a new phone, a lot of times as you're getting used to the new operating system or the new system or the new phone or the new things, sometimes you'll make changes like that where you'll be like, all right, I'm off of that. Now, I never used TikTok. I never really liked TikTok. I'm an adult. I'm an older adult, 43, 42, whatever. I'm an older adult. So, I do what adults do, which is I have Instagram, and then whenever a TikTok video becomes viral, I wait 2 to 3 weeks until it shows up on Instagram. And I watch it on Instagram like an adult. So that's worked for me well. So I'm just, on Instagram. And I used to be active on Twitter, but again, ever since I had Facebook on my phone, I just got off of Twitter. So I was like, you know what? Now that Twitter's, not as censored anymore, Twitter's something, more fun to use these days. I was like, all right, that's what I'm going to do, is that instead of, using Facebook or looking Facebook on my phone, I'll just, again, if I need a few minutes to doom scroll and, eat some shit, on the phone, I'll go on Twitter instead. If I'm not using Instagram, I'll do Twitter, and if not, I'll do neither. But no more Facebook. Facebook is totally unnecessary. Literally, what Facebook is literally the equivalent of, McDonald's every single day. It's no good. No bueno. So yeah. Adrian says, I used to upgrade phones every 6 months. That's a lot of money. That's crazy. No way. I upgrade like every 4 to 6 years or something like that. What is your opinion, experience with the new Samsung 24? I have no idea. I got like just some cheap Chinese phone. So, no idea about the new phone. But I love new technology. If someone out there were to gift me a brand new iPhone or a brand new Samsung 24 Plus or whatever, I would love it. I would love it. Especially the Samsung 24 Plus. I would love like super brand new technology. Back in the day when I made more money, and I was into tech. Nerding out over tech. I used to do that. I used to get the new phone, the new phones. I was always trying to be on top of all that stuff. But after living in Mexico, you notice that there are other priorities in life, than that kind of stuff. And so to me, I don't know. I'd rather just be, at the beach or sitting outside, listening to the birds, and just, I don't know. Life is different. So I don't really have the need to be nerding out over so much tech anymore like I used to. I nerd out over, I don't know, life, just yesterday at the beach, I was just there, just zoning out, like laying in the ocean with my friends, just zoning out, talking about crap, looking at nature, fishing, doing all that. And it's like, man, the last thing I needed was my phone. In fact, I didn't even use my phone all day. Well, I did a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon at night, but I wasn't, I left my phone in the truck. That's it. Forget it. And yeah, I wanted to try out the new camera on the phone, and I wanted to take some pictures, but I was just enjoying life so much. I was like, whatever. Thank God my other friend, he brought his phone and he took a picture. So I can document it, just one dumbass picture of me at the beach, but that's it. So I can send my wife. So Megan says, I prefer Apple everything. I fell backwards ice skating last December and passed out. Oh no. Wow, that's scary. Sorry to hear that, Megan. Anyways, passed out from the blow to my head. Within moments, EMT showed up. My Apple Watch called 911. Oh wow, that's amazing. That's crazy. Yeah, technology, saves the day. Yeah, I'm a big technology fan. A lot of people that are afraid of technology, are afraid of artificial intelligence, are afraid of all these things. It's like, there were people that were afraid of fire. They were afraid of electricity. They were afraid of all these, technologies that we all take for granted these days. So I'm not, I'm not that scared. I'm actually very excited for new technology, and all the awesomeness that it's going to bring. Obviously, not all of it is great. Obviously, technology brings good and bad, but I feel for the most part it brings more good than bad. But it's all these learning curves. So even though a lot of people, got addicted or have been addicted to social media and some of these things, we're seeing the newer generations, the younger kids, they're rejecting a lot of this stuff. A lot of the kids, they want like a flip phone, or like a dumb phone. They don't want a smartphone. They're trying to reject as much of that modernity and technology as possible. And even because it's not that they're rejecting it and they're going backwards and going to go into the Stone Age, but no, it's more of hey, they're recognizing that they need a healthy kind of separation between technology and real life. And again, it's not everybody, but I see a lot of that. That's very encouraging. So and I see a lot of the new technology, what it's doing, and how it's making life easier for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, what technology does is that it takes away the shit jobs that most people don't want to do to begin with anyway. So it is what it is. And then for creatives, a lot of people are like, oh, but, now artificial intelligence can make art and make music and make this. Is like, listen, yeah, it can. All right. But you know what that's going to do? It's going to force you, the artist, to do better. All right. And, there's no, what is it? Listen, what is it? There's no replacement for you. You just got to get better. Look, at the end of the day, I remember when the first ever digital cameras came out. Okay, like 20 something years ago. And I remember, again, I have family members that are photographers. And I remember them and other photographers that I, knew, obviously, as a young kid. And they all hated, the new digital photography, because they basically said it. It's like, oh, now with this new technology, it's going to get to the point where everyone's going to have a phone. Everyone's going to have a camera. This is way before phone cameras, right? Way before smartphones. But anyways, they will all say, oh, everyone's going to have a new digital camera. And now with a new digital camera, now everyone's going to think they're a photographer. Okay? And a lot of it was because, well, back in the day, if you wanted to be a photographer, not only did you have to buy an expensive camera, but you had to buy film. And you had to develop the film. And it cost money. And so, well, basically, if you were going to do that, well, you really had to, again, have money to spend, or you had to be really sure that that's what you wanted to do. But as soon as the digital camera came out, well, now everyone, I can take 100 pictures, with my shitty, you remember those old shitty digital cameras that used to have a floppy disk on them? Yeah. So anyways, all you needed was a floppy disk or a memory card. You stuck it in the digital camera and you could take infinite amount of pictures. And you can pick out the best picture, and you can now, like whatever. And so a lot of photographers were like, oh my God, that's going to make anyone a photographer. But again, fast forward to where we are today. Yeah, everybody can take a picture. Everybody does have a camera. Everybody has the ability, but are photographers or people that make videos or make movies, are they obsolete? No, they're not. Okay? They've had to get better. And now more people know exactly how difficult it is, to do this for a living, because so many people have wanted to do it for a living and pretend to think, like, oh, I can do this. I can be a YouTuber. I can be a TikToker. I can be a photographer. I can be whatever. And then when they actually do this and they realize how difficult it is, and now even more difficult than it was before, because now you're competing against technology. You're competing against everybody that has a camera. You're competing against so much competition that you really, really got to be good, all right, in order for you. And you got to be dedicated in order for you to be a good photographer. And guess what? What does that do? It forces, these people to be better and to make better art and to make better everything. So anyways, the same thing goes with everything going forward, all right? So when I see artificial intelligence and all this new technology, basically, replacing artists, replacing musicians, they're not really replacing shit, okay? They're just basically saying, again, what do we complain about these days? It's like, oh, music sucks because, all these people are just making the same music, the same rap, the same this, the same whatever. Well, now an AI, they can make really good music. So now, the humans are going to be like, well, wait, we can't let the computers just fucking do this, So now, they're upping their game. They're being forced to up their game. And the people want better music. And it goes with everything else, okay? So, I mean, to me, that's the way I look at technology for the most part. Yeah, we're moving into some scary territory where, you know, again, anyone can make an artificial intelligence, what is it? Photocopy of me. You know, somebody out there can make technically, you know, they can make another. How about this? What I meant to say is like, you know, technically, what you're looking at right now, it might not even be me. This is not me. You think it's me, but it's not me. It might be a fake me. It might be somebody that just, you know, created a digital artificial intelligence AI version of Jose and typed in a few things into the prompt. And here we go. We got a new channel based off of me. And so obviously we're moving into some scary territory with all this stuff, you know, where, again, you don't know if the president or, you know, the guy or the actor or the person that's speaking on TV or a movie is the actual person. It could be someone that was just made on a computer. So yeah, we're moving into some scary stuff, but as we're making that, we're also making the stuff to detect it. So now, you know, you can basically put a picture of the people that first went on the moon, and now, well, artificial intelligence is telling you, oh no, this is fake. You know? So, like I said, you know, there's a good and the bad. All right? So, yeah. You know, to me, with everything new, the old world shatters. Okay? And, you know, that's all we're seeing right now. And no one likes change. And, again, as we were talking about with the phone, you know what I mean? I don't even want to switch to the new phone because, you know, just to change, you know, just to, you know, having to, again, like buying new underwear. You know? As much as I need new underwear and new socks, I hate buying it and then breaking it in. I need new shoes, but it's like that means I gotta get the new shoes and I gotta break them in. You know what I mean? Shop for them, the whole thing. In fact, my mom is coming to visit in a few weeks, and my mom is gonna be bringing me some underwear and some, you know, some socks and some shit like that because it's like, well, whatever, you know what I mean? Like I need them anyway, and you know, she shops for better underwear for me than I do myself. She's been doing it my whole life, right? But look, all I'm saying is that nobody likes change. Even if you're buying a new underwear or a new phone or dealing with new technology or a new anything. And so that's part of like everything that we're moving into right now. But change is there and it's coming. And, you know, it's either embrace it or be left behind because it's here to stay no matter what it is. All right. And, you know, now with these new electric cars, for example, I mean, I can go on tangent after tangent after tangent. But, you know, when I see the new electric cars and stuff like that, I'd laugh. Because, you know, all these people that you know, don't like, you know, the older cars with the gasoline and the motors and the this and that. They're very quickly realizing that technology is not only not obsolete, but now we understand why it existed. Because a lot of people like to point out, are like, oh, you know, we discovered, you know, electric vehicles and, you know, these kind of vehicles 100 years ago. It's like, why did we go and develop these engines that run on oil and not the batteries and that tech? It's like, really? Are we having that conversation right now? You're not seeing, you know, these Teslas that, you know, can't even make it down the block, you know, without their battery running out and all the problems that they're having. Now, again, I'm all for the technology. I'm all for all that stuff, but you're not going to compare, you know, like my truck from 1988 with a V8, you know, motor that basically just turning it on, you know, cost me $5 in gasoline. But, you know, that truck, I mean, are you kidding me? You know how many Cybertrucks I can haul behind, you know, with my truck? All right. So, and how much I can do with my old, you know, fucking 30-year technology that a brand new truck cannot do, no matter how strong or powerful or this or that or whatever it is. And that's just the truck, you know. But again, you know, as new technology comes about, we start seeing the limitations and we need to fix it. And then we start appreciating the old technology and so on and so forth. Look, everybody, when the e-books came out, remember the tablets and the e-books and that? And everybody's like, oh my God, you know, we're not going to have books anymore. Well, guess what? Bookstores are making, what is it called? A huge resurgence, or they have for years. All right. And people are realizing, hey, we need books. We need physical books. We need to smell the book. We need to have the physical pages. They cannot, again, right now, they can write an article or write a book online, and if they don't like something, they can do and change it digitally, and no one really knows. You might even say, "Oh my God, they changed XY chapter in the book," and people are gonna be like, "Well, I didn't see the change in the chapter. You must be crazy." But if you actually got the physical book, they can't go to your house and what is it, like, rewrite the book? You know what I mean? Or same thing with media. When you have a DVD or a VHS or whatever, listen, they might change the new movies. They might get Cinderella, and they might change it digitally right now, but they can't change the DVD that you own, or the first version of Jurassic Park, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I could go on and on. So to me, it's all growing pains. Obviously, there's good and there's bad, but at the end of the day, we live in a way better world today. As much as people complain about all these things that are going on in the world, we live in a way better world today, all right, than people did 100 years ago or 150 years ago or whatever, okay? Don't even get me started. We didn't even have clean water 150 years ago. Okay, people? Come on. Wake up, okay? I know we got fluoride in our water, these days, and it's a little bit too clean. But, hey, I'd rather have a little fluoride in my water than, again, have all these microorganisms that were basically going to, give me the runs every time. In fact, that's why so many people throughout history drank wine and beer. That was the only way that they could purify water so that they wouldn't die. Okay? They had to be drunk half the time. All right? Yeah, the good majority of humanity has been drunk, which explains a lot, right? So, yeah, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what was I going to say? Yeah, and the whole thing with the Mandela effect, don't get me started on that. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of that has a lot to do more with, like, they're just trying to fuck with you, all right? Because, again, keep your eye on, hey, look, we changed this. This used to be gray, and now it's black. Or, this used to be pink, and now it's red. Now it's like, whatever. We changed the word on this. It used to be the Bernstein Bears, and now it's the Bernstein Bears. Like, bro, who gives a fuck? I mean, while everyone is fighting about all that crap, you're not noticing all the really horrible things that they're actually doing to you. Okay? Okay? So, all that is a distraction. Everything is a distraction. Okay? Don't believe anything. Question everything. Okay? And especially now more than ever. Okay? Because the more distractions, well, the more everything is falling apart. Okay? Rome is on fire. Nero is playing his fiddle. And we're out here, talking about, vote blue, vote red. The Cheerios box has like 38 chemicals in it. They're not allowing us to do that. Listen, they just want you fighting amongst yourselves, okay? While they, keep burning down Rome. And Rome is burning, and no one gives a shit about it, all right? So it is what it is. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, we're living in a world now where everybody complains. We were talking about this in the last live stream. We need solutions, all right? We need people to have solutions and to, act upon these solutions and, create a better world for all of us. Instead of, fighting over, why everything sucks and who are they going to blame next. All right? So, with that said, get yourself a Chinese phone if you can. By the way, do they even sell Chinese phones in the U.S.? I think they do, right? I think they do. But I think that they don't... But anyways, out here in Mexico, or any other foreign country, we got a lot more Chinese products available. And they're not as bad. I mean, to me, that's the whole hilarious thing. Is like, oh, we don't want a Chinese phone because they're going to be spying on you. It's like, but, oh, it's okay for the U.S. government to spy on me, but not the Chinese government? Like, in fact, I would rather have the Chinese government spy on me. They don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Are you kidding me? They don't speak what I speak. They're speaking Chinese over there. My own government knows exactly what I'm saying, Shit. Are you kidding me? So... anyways, I'm not saying nothing about Xi Jinping. I'm not fucking saying nothing about, China. I don't care. All right. So, but you know, again, I profess my love for the USA, and that's enough to, you know, God knows what. All right. It's illegal to be a patriot these days, right? Even saying that word, even saying go watch the movie The Patriot, is enough to get you a ding, red flag, whatever it is, right? Don't even say Mel Gibson 3 times, all right? He'll come out like Beetlejuice, all right? The government will, the CIA, you know? Anyways, so let me see. Megan says, I bought my Mexican friend an iPhone, Apple Watch, and MacBook and paid for him to take English class for a few months. I spoiled him for a bit. Shit, Megan. You know, you spoil me. I would love a new iPhone, a new Apple Watch, definitely a new Apple computer. I don't need. Do I need English classes? I don't know. My English not so good sometimes. But damn, Megan, you should spoil me. I'm joking. I kid. It's a joke. Kidding, not kidding. But anyways, if anyone wants to sponsor me and my horse, my wife, you know, anyone out there, please, by all means. All right. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I don't know what else. By the way, it's funny because it's like, you know, people complain, you know, about like, oh, you got a Chinese phone. Like, bro, all your phones are fucking Chinese these days. Are you kidding me? You know, they're all built over there. I mean, geez, you know, but yeah, it is funny when people are like, oh, you got a Chinese phone. It's like, so do you. So do all of us. In fact, you see if you can find me a phone that's not made in China, all right? So even the fucking Samsungs that are Koreans are made over there, so. Yeah, so Joker's Wild says, if you're Jehovah's Witness or born again Christian, the world is definitely coming to an end. Oh no, why'd you delete your message? Man, I was reading it. No, but yeah, man. You know, to me, I never get that. You know, when these people that are religious and they want us to be happy about the end of days. And it's like, you know, hey, these religious folk out there, they're basically like, hey, we want XYZ to happen so that the end of the world can happen. But it's not going to happen unless we do these things. And it's like, what? Why? Why do you want to do these things? Why do you want to end the world? What is wrong with you? What the fuck? You know what I mean? So, anyways, don't get me started. We could talk about that another day. I think we're done here. We talked enough about the phone. Damn it, Joker. Why'd you delete your message? Was it maybe the CIA deleted the message for you? Is that what it was? Anyways, I get it. I understand. You know, it was a Christian coalition that deleted your message or something, right? Somebody. I'm not going to say who. Remember, did you guys see Kanye West? He was like, you know, I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say whatever. But it was a Jewish doctor. Anyway, so I'll leave it with that. I'm not going to say who deleted the message. I'm not going to whatever. But we all know who it is. It was a Jewish doctor. Anyway, shout out to Kanye. Always bringing that entertainment. You know, it's like, bro, no one pressured you to say anything, man. You know, why did you even... Oh, yeah. But anyways, guys, you already know the deals, guys. I really, 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 really appreciate you guys. I love you guys to death. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. It seems like you did. You know, I get a lot of people, you know, by the way, I'm getting a lot more reception, you know, to you. What is it like? I'm getting a lot more positive feedback on this channel, on this show so far. I'm getting more viewers than I thought I was. I'm getting pretty good growth. Look, it's really, really hard to start a new channel, to do this stuff, to get it, you know, going. And trust me, it's difficult. So, and I've done it multiple times. So I'm actually very, very impressed, you know, with the growth of the channel. So again, shout out to everyone out there that's subscribed, that's watching, that enjoys this stuff. But I guess what I was going to say is that, you know, I'm impressed by how many people have been viewing and hanging out and watching afterwards and all this other stuff. And you guys have just been listening to my story time. And today, you know, it was kind of like story time, but it was just more talking about, you know, just upgrading to a new phone. And we went off on a tangent almost an hour and a half later talking about that. And I really appreciate it. I'm so happy that you guys have enjoyed the show, enjoyed these talks, enjoyed these conversations, and looking forward to doing more of these. And yeah, you know what I mean? Let me know. Let me know in the comments later on if you guys want me to do more of these, just flat topics, like what I did today, or if you guys like story time or both or whatever. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think that's it. So I think we're just gonna, I'm just reading the comments here real quick, but I think that's it. I think we are, I think we're done here. So that's right. People need to get along or else. All right. Shout Meg. Do I know you, Megan? Anyways. I don't know if you ordered me a jug of whiskey. I appreciate it. I never got the first one. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But make sure, you send it to the right address. It seems like somebody else got my whiskey that you sent me and they drank it. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it was Lambo. Damn it. Fucking Lambo. He drank the whiskey that you sent, Megan. Yeah. Anyways, all right, guys. Gonna wrap this up. I can go on forever. All right, remember like the Christmas Story? Forever. No, wait, was it The Sandlot? Forever. All right, guys. You already know the deals. Oh, shout out to David Wallace out there. Shout out to you, brother. Got a prepaid AT&T Mexico plan for 140 USD for the year. Great. That's awesome. Yeah, because I play. So what's 12 times 12? Same price, right? 12 times 12 is 144, I think, right? So there you go. Save $4. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. So I think that. By the way, I didn't even know that they had that. That's pretty cool. I had no idea that they had that. I should look into that too, because God, it's such a pain in the ass sometimes when you run out of data and you gotta go to the OXXO to re-up, refill your thing. But anyways, you'll surprise me one day. Okay, all right, thanks, Megan. I'm looking forward to just randomly getting surprised by a random fan with a bottle to the head. Thanks, great. I'm definitely not PTSDing right now. Yay. I'm definitely not anxious, full of anxiety that some random person's going to just... All right, sorry. I can't help myself. By the way, I love everything I do, but man, I am not one of those people that loves, being famous. It's just weird, man. It's really weird for me to deal with. Maybe I'll talk about that in a future episode, but I think I've talked about it before in other, avenues here. But yeah, man, I love everything I do, and I love the growth, and I love just everything. But man, and I'm very charismatic. I'm a people person, yada yada. But man, I'm not one of those people that loves fame or loves to be recognized. It's kind of like embarrassing sometimes. I don't know, man. I'm just not one of those people. But hey, it is what it is. As a great man once said, I think it was in Clerks. Randall said it. He said, I hate people, but I love gatherings. I think I'm the same kind of person. But anyways, I love all of you guys. I hate people except you guys. I love you people. Right? Hold on. I need a producer, man, for the help me with the show. Anyways, guys, I love you guys to death, all right? No, really, I do, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hopefully, you also watched me on the previous live stream. If you didn't, it doesn't matter as long as you're here and queer. Again, room for everybody here. Anyways, we're here, we're queer, we're loving it. But anyways, with that being said, I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys very, very much. I'm happy that you guys are happy and enjoying this content. It makes me happy that I make you happy. We're all happy. Yay. We're shiny, happy people. Beep, beep. Oh, no, I just got a copyright strike. Damn it, REM. All right, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys here next week. You already know every Thursday we go live on the channel, unless I'm on vacation or doing something. So whatever. But you already know. You can always check the channel early in the week so you guys can see what I'm going to be talking about on Thursday. And if you don't see anything by Wednesday, that means I'm not going to do an episode. But I'm usually here every Thursday. You know me. Got to be here. Consistency, right? It's all about that consistency. But anyways, guys, you already know the deal. Love you guys. If you want to hear this content on Spotify, I'm also on Spotify. All the links are down below. I know some of you guys can't always, listen to me completely or fully here on YouTube. So always check out the link that I have. You can follow me on Spotify, listen to me on Spotify. So that way, while you're washing the car, while you're working, while you're cooking dinner, while you're gardening, while you're with your partner having sex, whatever it is you're doing, you can listen to me. I hope you're not listening to me while you're having sex. But still, the point is that you can always listen to me no matter what. Okay? So, with that being said, guys, you already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today. See ya. Peace. All right, damn it. I'm pushing the wrong button here. All right, bye. Bye.